Yo, look at this. The sun is out. We actually got some blue sky and my parts arrived today, which is sick. So this is the manual crack pipe for the 180. New gasket right on there. Only one pipe going back, so that's awesome. Also got our Beetle 180 coolant flange with the 2 ports on the bottom. We've got the one for the crankcase right here. Nice and new, not destroyed. And then also got a slave cylinder, the Mark III style metal one for my O2J, but I think I'm actually gonna use the Mark IV plastic one on this one because Fabulous sells a kit to do the Mark IV style, so I think we'll try that out. But super hyped on some parts. Let's go toss them on the engine. Now, even though the sun's out, got some blue sky, it's still really cold, but I just appreciate like the blue sky. Like, it makes the day so much better. When it's gray all day long, it honestly just sucks. So just seeing some blue sky, some sunshine, just makes the whole day better. I was about to hit the light switch, but look at this. We have like one ray of sun coming through the back window right on the 180. Just like, where's it at? Right there. Just coming through right on the 180. What a perfect spot. Nah, the sun makes my day so much better. Like that right there, just, it's gonna be a good day, boys. So at this point on the 180, this whole top section's done. The timing's done, the accessory bracket's done. Our turbo setup is all on, that's done and good to go. The goal for today with the new piece we just got is to pretty much finish up this front section around, and that's pretty much it for the most part, minus some like coolant hoses, the radiator, and that kind of stuff we can't do while it's on the stand. But this piece here, I said our manual one, will sit from the back side. Let me show you. Right in there. And this will sit like so. I think this might go underneath this line. Maybe like that. And I know it sits, I think, this way actually, so it goes to the back of the engine. So I might have to pull this feed line off to get this underneath there, but that'll go like that. And then we're swapping out the cast aluminum coolant flange for this one because it has 2 ports, so I can run the second one over to our Mark III coolant reservoir on this side in the factory spot. So that's good. And then this will sit down here on top of that as our breather, which does that not fit? Or is that to come out? Where's my other one? Hang on. Where's my broken one? Oh no, so many things down here. This is the automatic crack pipe, don't need that. I need the flange for the crankcase breather, which is somewhere, there it is. Okay, this is it. So it broke off, but this is the same size, yeah? That's good. So I think when it broke off, does that come off there? Or is it supposed to go on there? Because I see a metal sleeve into this one. I think I have to pull that out of there, potentially. We'll address that in a second. But this eventually will go to here, and then up to this one, and then back to, well, to here to the PCV. So there to here, down to here, and that'll connect all of that. And we're looking pretty good by the end of today. All right, so with this crack pipe here, there's actually no need to remove the feed line that can stay on. I did pull out the knock sensors because they were in the way. The issue I'm finding now, I think mine's bent a little bit because on the back side here, it's supposed to come out up over the wastegate, and it's like smashing right in the side of the turbo right now. If you look at this one over here, right back here, this is where the pipe comes. You can see it's up over the wastegate by a good margin, and it's not hitting the turbo. So I think mine got bent a little bit, but I think if I can just bend this half out a little bit and come over, we'll be okay. You can see the mounting spots. This has to be to that one, and then this hole right here needs to go to the one on the block right back over there. So I gotta go in a good way still, but I'm already hitting the turbo. So I think if I bend this out just a little bit, get it up over this, we'll be in good shape. So coolant pipe update. This side over here is in and good to go. This bolt hole does not line up in the slightest bit, but not a big deal. The one on the side of the block does. What I'm doing now is I'm gonna bolt this one right here up so it's tight. This is still a bit too close, but once that's bolted up, I'll be able to bend this last little bit by itself out a smidge, and then it's all good to go. I'm not sure why that one on the front doesn't line out, but it's just a coolant pipe. I don't need to have more than this one and that one holding in place. I might be able to like just tap this end and bend it over and get it bolt up, but if not, really not the biggest deal. And this will all be good to go. So that definitely took a fair bit of massaging, but it's all in. Nice and seated over there. Got this bolt line up over here, that one over there, and we have the angle on the back side right. So the entire new coolant pipe is good to go. we can move on. So moving on to our crankcase breather here. If you look down there, this metal ring should come out. You can see on the sides, all of that's still broken plastic from the last piece. And this entire thing kind of moves back and forth. But you see the new one, how it has all of that, and it would sit down to about there. But I have to go ahead and get all those broken pieces out of there and then get this entire thing pulled out, because you can see the flathead down there. It'll kind of move back and forth. So this whole entire piece should come out of there. All right, so there's a great chance the GoPro's gonna fall, but that's the best spot I got. I got a lot of the broken pieces out. I think I can just go on the side. Oh, there you go. And just pry this whole piece out of there. Look at that, that was easy. Some of it falls down there, which is probably not good. Try and flick this piece outside. Well, I probably get down with the needle nose, but yeah, there's that whole cylinder. And all of this right here is all the old broken stuff. I'm gonna try and... Oh, it's all gonna fall down inside there. That's terrible. Well, we'll have to get it later. Kind of flick it out like that. Yeah, there's a bunch down there. All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and clean this out as best I can. Hopefully not drop too many pieces down inside there. And then we can put our new one in. Sadly, the needle nose I have is not long enough to get all the way down there. You can see there's a whole bunch of pieces down at the bottom. So I'm gonna get this out of there. I'm gonna do this real fast, get a much longer needle nose, clean that out, and put our new pipe on, and move on from this spot. All right, where are the needle nose pliers? Look at that. I think for smashing stuff. Might need one of those for something later on. Where are the needle nose? I'm not seeing the pliers. All right, we got one here, but that's not near long enough. I need like really long. Nothing down here. Not long enough. Not long enough. They might not have it. A bunch of these are out right here. Well, that's unfortunate. I just need a long needle nose, please. So I found this one here, which is decently long. But yo, this thing's 34 euro. Why? And they got like a security thing on it. Why? It's a needle nose. It's like a $37. Why? There's no need for that. No need for that. All right, so it is currently about 10 p.m. It's been 3-4 hours since the last update. While I was at OB, Casey texted me and said she had a horrible pain in her kidney area and she's had a bad infection before. So rushed home, picked her up, went to the hospital, had everything checked out. Thankfully, there's no infection, but she's still in a lot of pain and they're gonna monitor for the next 3-4 days. But again, no infection, so that's good. But she's still in some pain, so hopefully that gets much better by tomorrow. We'll see. As for the 1.8T, I didn't get my pliers today because they wanted 34 euro for those like kind of long ones, and I need much longer than that. What I think I'm gonna do is just pull the entire housing itself completely off, turn it upside down, and just dump it up, because there's a bunch of pieces that are down. You can see them all down. There's a bunch in there. So gotta clean that entire thing out. I don't want any loose pieces floating around in the engine. And then also it's like 22 degrees. It is far too cold to be out here. So this will wait till tomorrow. I'm just glad the wife's okay. That's all that matters. Pesky staples in my box though. So today we got a poster in the mail. This one's pretty cool. I think though I think Kyle had one. He had a frame in it. I think it's bigger than the rest of them, which is kind of annoying. Yeah. It's like maybe 3-4 inches like longer.
Okay.
But they released this poster. I didn't buy. I'll show you. You can see. I think both came. I ordered one for a friend as well. So I can get this out of here. There it is. There it is.
Nice. Big reveal. Big reveal. I see this big reveal.
Bam! Oh, it's huge.
Wait, this is only one, right? Yeah,
so they released the Mark 1 through 8 on one poster, which is cool. They released Mark 1 through 8 all separate, like the rest of the show posters. It's like $150.
That I know. That's
way
why
too much.
Whenever you're like, oh yeah, I got the 1 through 8, I was like, are you serious?
Yeah, no, I got the 1 through 8 on. So this one was like 25 bucks, which is really cool to have all in one. It's kind of bigger. Not sure if I like that or not, because now it doesn't match the rest I have, but it's still cool. I'm still looking for the Mark 1, the Mark 6, and the Mark 8. Actually, I have a Mark 8 from Omar. So I just need a Mark 6 and a Mark 1. We'll have all the OG ones, which I think is cooler. I mean, this is cool to have. This is like the only one like this. But now the thing is to have all the OG show ones. They don't say this, they say the original show.
Yeah.
So we need 2 more of those and we'll have all of them. It's cool though.
Yeah,
I like massive that. Though. It's huge.
Nice.
trash. You know what? It's okay though, because next week we'll be in South Florida and it's all good. So instead of just using a long needle nose plier to go down inside here and pull the pieces out, I decided we're gonna pull the entire thing off. So pull the oil cooler off, and now I've done all the 10s. There's 4, 1, 2, 3, and I just broke the last one free. I'm gonna pull the entire thing off and then dump it out, because there's a whole bunch of like pieces down there, and I just don't want little pieces of plastic, whatever it is, just floating around in there. So we'll slide this off like so. So that is the crankcase breather, or the vent, I guess, for it. And then you can see, oh yeah, there's a ton of this. Whether it would have mattered or not, I don't think so, because there's a gasket here that blocks off for the oil, looks like. But you still don't want a bunch of crap floating around, so we'll dump all that out. We'll get this cleaned out and then get it back on. I think I might also have a new gasket for this as well inside. So if we do, we'll swap that as well. It wasn't leaking from before, which is good. A lot of the pieces on this engine, like even the oil cooler, the gasket on here, looks fairly new. Normally they're like smashed flat. This one's still like round and kind of above the oil cooler. So at some point with like 184,000 miles on the engine, it definitely serviced by somebody. The turbo looks new, a bunch of the gaskets look new, which is good for me. Makes me have good confidence in the engine, so hopefully I don't mess it up on my own. But I think we're in decent shape. So we'll get all this crap that are cleaned out and then get it sealed back up. So this whole section is done and good to go. This has been cleaned out. New gasket back there, new gasket for the oil cooler, and our new elbow is in. Also put on the Beetle 180 coolant flange. So all that's good to go. Before we put the manifold on all the way and actually mount it down, there's a coolant line that goes from here up to this side, I believe, and there's one more that runs under here. So before the manifold goes on, it's in the way. I want to finish up these last little bits, and then front side looking pretty good. So this piece here is our old automatic coolant pipe. This is the hose that comes off that little T, which is that one right down there. I'm pretty sure this hose goes over to the bottom of the Mark IV coolant reservoir that sits like right over here. I'm thinking though, since we're not using that and using one of these two over here for the Mark III on this side for the reservoir, I think this can just be capped off, because if it's just a drain off for the coolant reservoir, I don't think I'll need it for over here. But I'll have to go through and double check and make sure it's correct. But I think we just block this one off and I won't need this pipe at all. So if we just go through and cap this one off, that'll take care of that. And then as for the crankcase breather here, it has to go up to here and then back to the intake. We have, this is the old bundle that you can see where mine broke off originally. This T right here goes to the back side right there. And then on this side, the open end right there, will go to that one that goes back to the intake itself. I think we just cap off this top one, because I don't think I need any of this section anymore. I believe that's all deleted. So I'm gonna take this off, clean it up, put this piece, little T, back onto there. Or actually, instead of putting the T back on, I could just do a straight through fitting to connect that straight to this one, and I'll go up to the valve cover, back to the intake, and that'll solve the T problem versus having to block it off. But I think I delete all of this stuff. Actually, I lied. Looking at my spare 1.8T, that coolant pipe on the front of the block, this one here, we're going to use this hose to come up and around, and that's going to connect to this one, which is our coolant feed line for the turbo. So we'll delete the little T piece that goes over to the Mark IV coolant reservoir. It'll be a straight through, but this will go to this down to that. So that solves that issue, but this one looks much longer. I might need to short that down. But there was another one that went to, I always lose it, where'd it go? It was this one. This is the one off the auxiliary pump that had gone to here. But this engine doesn't have that. This one, if you look down here, you can see that one comes up over into this section right here by the green tape for whatever reason. But that comes off to this little T fitting. This one comes off for the coolant reservoir, and this one goes back to the turbo. So I guess this one didn't come with an auxiliary pump. I guess this one did not. This is the 150 horsepower one, so I'm not sure what all the differences are, but this one has it ran from there straight over to here, so should be fine for mine as well. All right, so let me go through and look at this again, because the problem is when we pull the engine apart, Casey did the front side and I did the back side. I didn't see how 90% of this was like actually routed, but so we have the auxiliary pump here, this one over to the turbo feed line, which is this one right here. But where did this one T into? Because obviously that came up and out this side to somewhere, but where is that somewhere? This is my normal upper rad hose right here. That is the T that goes off to here, to this pump, to this. So I'm missing a T somewhere because I feel like this, where did this go? Unless this went straight to the reservoir itself, which looks like it does actually with the little 90 right there. This might have gone straight to the coolant reservoir, and then the auxiliary pump came off of here over by the upper hose on this side, actually off that one right there, and then this ran back to the turbo. So maybe we'll just keep this. I know we're deleting most of this. That's all secondary air. Probably take this bracket off, but that looks like it runs across the front side here. Maybe on top of here, I'll have to see. I have to do a little bit of mocking up here. Like I said, the problem is when we pulled it apart, I did the back side and not the front side, so I'm not quite sure how all of this was ran. I do have photos, so I'm gonna go back and look. I think maybe we'll keep this and have this ran the normal way back to here. I did get a new fitting somewhere over there to fix this portion, so get that all ran and lined back up. There's just so much stuff. Why is there so much stuff? Okay, so I think I have most of this figured out at this point. This one goes from our coolant flange up to the top of our radiator. This one comes down to the oil cooler, and then this one comes out of the oil cooler back over to here. This one goes to the Mark IV coolant reservoir over here, but this one I pulled it out had the auxiliary pump, which comes off of this one. And I remember now this is actually mounted to the rad support in the Mark IV Jetta. So that's set like right about here, and then it goes from there over to our feed line for the turbo. Now that engine over there didn't have this, and they have this one ran straight to this one with a little T piece over here. As you can see on this one, it went from here over to the coolant reservoir, and then this one ran straight to this. So I think we keep this, we'll just run this straight through, and I'll delete this entire pipe because I won't need anything running to a reservoir that's not over here. So I should be able to go ahead and cap this one off with no issue. Or what we can do is run this one, I'll just cut it right about here and run this to this and delete this entire section with the auxiliary pump. I think either route will work, but maybe I'll just keep this. I don't think it really matters that much, and run that to there and delete this one. Either way, one has to be deleted. Either this gets capped off and deleted, or this whole thing goes away, which I think I'll delete this 90 anyways, because we want to run from here straight to the Mark III VR6 radiator right over here. So probably this whole 90 will go away anyways. But yeah, either this will go away and not run to here, or this will go away and not run to there. But one or the other, because I don't really need both, I don't think. There's no reservoir over here, so that shouldn't matter. I think we're good to go by deleting one or the other. And I think this hose down here was our lower. From there, that looks like it's way too far that way. I think this might be different on the automatic. Let me see the one on the manual over here. So this one comes out, and this one goes down and then cuts right, you can see, and goes that way. So I think I might steal this one off of here to use on that one, because it seems like the automatic one is different, or this might just be the wrong one. But it looks like it should be that. It just goes further that way. Probably for some automatic trans, I'm not quite sure. Or if I just cut in, add a little 90, that would work as well. So that'll be there. This will all be through there. Look at that, making progress. But with this being here, that being good to go, I'm gonna get this finished up around, get the intake back on, which I think I might have to pull this pipe back off a little bit, because if you look, it's very tight to fit the silicone inlet for the turbo between this and to there. The factory one has this really flat piece. You can see how nice and flat that piece is compared to now having this. So I'm pretty sure when I talked to Jake, he said make sure one, you put the intake on before you put it in the car, because the pain induced in the car. But I might try and bend this out a little further, that I can snake it through, because right now it's very, very tight to get that entire thing to fit right through here. But I want to have that on, have majority of all this routed, and then this section for the most part done, intake manifold on before the end of the night. So fun fact, it is so cold out at this point, I have to leave the GoPro inside, otherwise it just dies like immediately. But we are making pretty good progress over here. Got a few of these hard mounted through. I ran this just like this. Looking at my spare 18T, that one just has a spare hose right here. I mean, I guess I could just plug this one right here like that. But on that one, it's just ran straight through and then up to here, back to there. So all of this should be good to go. We have the diverter valve up here. Gonna put the N75 valve over there. And then this one will go over to the bigger one. This one goes to that one. A couple go down to the bottom side of the intake tube. But she's looking pretty good. And then this one here will go to the top side of the coolant reservoir, and then I believe one of these ones here will go to the bottom side, so that'll all be over here and that'd be good to go. So that gives a home for this one, this will go straight. That's good, that's good. This one goes over there. This one here goes back to the heater core, I believe, and there's one more port right here. I figure out where that goes, but for the most part we have homes for just about everything, which is good. And then back here I managed to get the intake on without pulling the pipe actually off. A little bit of a squeeze, but we got it in there. It kind of smushes it just a little bit, but I bent this out a little bit more, so it has a bit more room to fit. Not all the room in the world, but is what it is. Works no problem, so shouldn't be an issue. Like I said, this will go over to here. Got a few more things to route, which this will probably come back off because the wiring has to go underneath here for the cold packs and stuff. But for right now, I want to go through and have pretty much everything routed where it's going to go. That way I can see what I'm missing. But for the most part, we're looking pretty good. Not too bad. And if you look over here, I can show you on this one. On this one, you can see from the PCV over to this one actually has like a Y pipe down there, and it comes up here. If you look way down, it's kind of hard to see. Right there, that blue one, that's where he deleted that little section, goes up, and it's just straight through from right there over to there, that little blue pipe. So that's the one he used. So it should work no problem on this one as well. But yeah, looking good. Looking pretty good so far. So next up, we've got this whole unit here. This will go in the back. This is our new N75 valve. That one is going to go right into this top one right here. And then this one will go to the diverter valve. Then this one will sit right there. This one comes from the bottom over to here. And then the second one here goes down to the wastegate, which should plug in right on there. There's one more that goes here, which I think it's this one. Which I think that came off and went to one of these arms, if I'm not mistaken, which I'm not sure if I delete this or not. I'll have to, so stand by on that. But for the most part, we're gonna have just about all this together. So that's good. This is a home that'll plug in. This will go down to there. That's good. Gotta figure out that one. And then in the front, there is this little one here. Goes off the bottom of the intake, which I'm not sure. Again, that might go to this. I'm not sure. Let me see this one over here. This one has a few plugged on it. So we've got N75 in the front. It goes to this one, goes to there. This one should go down to the wastegate, which is that right there. You have the diverter valve, the PCV, and he has one blocked off. Which this one, since I'm mine, my N75 is back over here. This just might be like that one, but he has one blocked off in here. Is there one down there? There is one down there. Where does that go to? What does that go to? There's one way down here that goes across over to, to this. So I think on mine, I'm deleting that. I'm pretty sure this all goes to the charcoal canister. So I think we might be able to block off this one and block up that one, because that one goes from the bottom, you can see down there, all the way around up to here and up to there. So I think I block off this one on mine. I'm not using any of this. So I think that gets blocked off. We'll block off this one and block off that one. So showing you over here, we'll block off, I think, this bottom one here, that front one there, and then on the intake manifold itself, we'll block off this one, and I think we'll be all right. So I think we've reached our stopping point for today. Definitely a ton of good progress. She is looking good. I've got pretty much a home for just about everything. I think I've got everything for the most part figured out. I was talking to Jake a little bit. I think I'm going to keep this one and block off that one over there, because the car will be a Florida car, and it would help to have a little bit extra cooling once the car is off. So we might keep that instead of doing this one over to here, but we'll still see on that. And I think down here, if I don't just cap this off or put a straight pipe through, you can run this one up to here. That'll give that one a home. The front one here will go to this. I believe this will go to here, and then cap this last one off or use this for the boost gauge later on. But that'll give a home to each port down here. This will be figured out. That's already good. This one we're blocking off over here. The bottom we're blocking off. This we're blocking off. This is fuel lines. So for the most part, I think we've got it all figured out. This isn't mounted down just yet, because I still want to get the wiring underneath here and just finalize all this. But looking pretty good. She's looking pretty good. Lots of things going lots of places. not too bad. But I will say, looking at how high this is sitting, I don't think this is gonna fit. Let me see. We'll do a little testy fit here and see how it's gonna sit. It has this bigger like top section, but I don't know how it's gonna look exactly. Oh yeah, that's touching a bunch of it. Actually, it's touching right here too on this. Might need like some, maybe not, let me see. Let's set it down. This goes back a little bit still because it's not mounted. Oh, it might be okay. Let me see what I've got going on back here. Might be able to like move this back a little bit. That way it sits further down. But if not, we'll run it just like this. Even though I really want to run that, I do. I might try to figure that out, but this isn't a bad look. So for the most part, she is getting there pretty nicely. Oil pan should be here this week. We can finish that up and have the whole bottom side sealed up. Drain line back on. That's done and good to go. And then after, once all this is finalized and bolted up, when it's off of the stand, we can do the rear main seal over there, put the trans on, put the clutch on, and then wait for our mounts and drop her on in the car. I have the harness over there. We'll have to start running back through here once this is all done, but not looking too bad. Not looking too bad. I have those braided few lines somewhere. I need to find those. We'll need those for the car. And then, like I said, I just got to figure out what I want to do with this. Would I keep this one or keep that one? And then where this line goes. But she's looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. I'm pleased with it. Also, have to figure out once the mounts show up if this is going to work. Might have to like cut it up here and have it just go a little like S-curve over the mount. But once the mount actually shows up, we'll see how much the fabless mount is in the way of this. And then we'll go from there. I've enjoyed learning about this thing, and it's a new platform. I've always done VR6, which I love, but this has been fun. Something new for me to learn, just get your brain going a little bit. I'm excited. Hopefully we'll have turbo noises very, very soon. So with that, gonna end today's video here. If you have any further tips for routing things on the 18T, leave some comments down below. I'll read through them and try to get this thing as sorted as possible. Pretty well off so far, unless I'm just completely wrong, but I think we're looking not too bad right now. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Do not forget to be thankful for every single day. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.